This week, as Mr. Banjika rightly mentioned, I did attend the Amazon Career Day event and it was really interesting. So I thought, let me share with you people what I got. If you're going to do something, do it right or don't do it at all. Here's a quote from Andy Jessy, Amazon CEO, that I got throughout the event, and I thought, wow, why not share it with you guys as well? I'll be going through some tidbits from his interview. The interview, he was being interviewed as Amazon CEO. And one of the advice he gave during interviews is just be yourself. That is, throughout the interview process, don't try to fake it. Just be yourself, because at the end of the day, if you finally get the job based on your faked self, the next thing is you'll be going through a job in which you're faking it throughout your job, throughout the day, and you don't want to be in that situation. Another next tip was answer the questions. If your interviewer asks you a question, don't go through long introductions. And at the end, you don't know if you really got the question well or you answered it well. Just go straight to the questions, go straight to the point. It makes things easier for you as well. Amazonians are very passionate or very obsessed about their customers. And here's, as I'll show to you in the next slides, here's one of their first leadership principles. That means if you want to become an Amazonian, if you want to work for Amazon, during the interview process, you need to show that you're passionate about the customers. Missionary and not mercenary. Here's an important tip I got as well. That means you should work with the team. That is, you should work towards achieving the goals of the team and not your own goals. Last but not the least, just be humble. I'll move now to some few interview tips I did gather as well during the event. The first one is based on the leadership principles. As you all know, or you should know, that Amazons have a very peculiar interview process, and most of this is based on their leadership principles. You could look at your professional experience, pick 2 examples from your professional experience that relates to each leadership principles. Don't worry, I'll show these leadership principles as well in the next slide. It was as well my first time during the event hearing about these principles. Surprisingly enough, that was yesterday, I did read a post by Victoria Seaman on LinkedIn, and she mentioned, if you're applying to Amazon, read the leadership principles, watch examples on YouTube, and prepare 2 stories from your experience on each leadership principle. And this exactly reiterates what I got at the event. You can also choose to follow Victoria because she shares a lot of advice, maybe on your solutions architect, learning for practitioner, or some general advice interviews at Amazon. If you want to read more about her post, you can click on the link here. No worries, I'll share the slides with you as well, so you could get access, so you can have access to them. So let's move to the leadership principle. As I said earlier on, their first leadership principle is customer obsession. That is, the customer is at the center, then from there you move backwards. And with Amazon Web Services, I remember there's some services I didn't learn about that came to place just because of the demands of their customers. If you look at the fifth leadership principle, is learn and be curious. As a leader, you should learn, you should be curious, always trying to learn new things. There are about 15 of these leadership principles. And to be sincere with you all, I don't know really much about that. So I'm looking forward to reading more about these leadership principles, knowing them in order to be a future Amazonian. If you want to learn on these principles as well, you can click on the link below provided. I also have here a video on these leadership principles. Let's move back to the interview tips. It was being said that during the interview, behavioral-based questions are being asked. So the main aim of these questions are to know how your mind works, know why in a certain problem, why do you choose the options you chose? And basically, this normally past behaviors are good indicators of future behaviors. Reason why Amazon has this, ask these types of questions to you. If you want to practice, you should go through the STAR method. STAR is an acronym for situation, trust, action, results. It was my first time as well hearing about this method, and I really look forward to learning more about it and knowing how it really works and how to present my stories, my professional experience based on this STAR method. Last but not the least, during the interview, before coming for an interview, you should prepare questions. It's not only the interviewer that calls you, or the company that calls you, want to know more about you. You also want to know more about the company. So, and a good advice that was given was prepare your questions when coming. So that's pretty much a summary of what I learned at the event. It was a really interesting event, and I hope you learned something as well from my presentation. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Lady N, for sharing the knowledge.
Nice. So,
Lady D, I have just one correction for your STAR method. The T stand for task, not trust.
oh, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for telling me that, and I did miss that. Okay. Yeah, feel free to come in if you did join the event as well, or you have something to share. Yeah, the floor is yours as well.